same presentation with a few slides tacked on the back. And it really is a case study of how we came across a few new acacia species in the northeastern goldfields. My problem is we've got about 45 slides and we've got 25 minutes, I think, so they'll be really quick. Flora, not doing it. I've got to say it publicly, it wouldn't happen on a Mac. So, this all came around because we were doing impact assessment studies in the northeast goldfields, and we've been in this particular area about 6 times, thank you, over about a 20-year period. And none of this became apparent to us until 2017, when we actually were there late. We were planning to be there in spring. We weren't there till late summer because of contractual issues within the company. So we arrived on site late, and the mulberry trees didn't flower in fruit. And it was because of that this work came of it. And there's a really good lesson in that. I don't know how many of you have a chance to go back to sites over many years. May happen. It's a rarity, I think. And it was only because of that issue that things were becoming apparent. So I won't dwell on the pretty obvious stuff. You guys are fairly well informed regarding the flora of the state. Acacias in the landscape, very important species. The northeastern goldfields, you've got probably 6 basic landform units. Sand plains, which don't have mulga in them. You've got colluvial and alluvial plains, which are dominated by mulga. And I'm being very broad in my grouping of mulga here. You've got salt lake margins with mulga on hard pans, and Burkittii on calcrete. Now, I've actually put that in, it's really quite important. Then you've got your granite hills and breakaways, which are very spectacular, have a lot of fauna habitat. With acacia quadrimarginae on them. You've got the ironstone, chert and Ferry Creek hills, just small remnants through the landscape. Again, they're dominated by varieties of mulga and not much else. And then you've got the mafic and ultramafic greenstone hills with really weird stuff on them. We didn't know that they were weird until 2017. So while we're looking at acacias, I went through the issue of doing impact assessment studies in northeast goldfields. Been there many times, thought I knew the species, just someone mentioned earlier, don't just write the name down. Well, I used to do that for many years, until we saw the darn fruit. What are greenstones? Now, how many here, as botanists, have got a good understanding of geology and soils? Okay, I'd like to bring that up as an issue for us as an industry, because we need our plants to grow on geology, which derives, from which is derived soils. So I've been very lucky to have some time with a guy named Doug Blandford, who's an earth scientist, retired, brackets, and he pointed out my description of soils used to be gravelly, sandy, clay loams. He said, Jeff, stick to plants because you're no bloody good at soils. But he also explained to me about greenstones, and so greenstones are mafic things that, they're plutonic rocks. They come up in big upwellings of magma, and when they cool quickly, they've got very fine crystal structure. When they've cooled slowly, they get very coarse grain crystal structure. And when they've been metamorphosed, they get pushed sideways, you end up with schists. Okay, so just quickly. When we realised we had an issue, we tried to plan how we're going to address this so that the client would proceed with their project. So we realised that these things were these acacias that we were noticing, which had weird fruit, not weird flowers, not weird leaves, but weird fruit, were always on the greenstone hills. So we were like, it can't be hard, we'll just map all the greenstones, and that's what came up, greenstones in West Australia. So we looked more closely at the Murchison region, and you guys are probably aware of the land system mapping done by AGWA back in late 70s, early 80s. Absolutely amazing pieces of work. And we looked at that, and we looked at all the rocky landscapes in the northeast goldfields. And of the 128 or so, 15 of them represented rocky uplands with greenstone geology. So this is narrowing down to the eastern Murchison region, and we had granites, greenstones in blue, ironstone in green, and the volcanics, minor component, in yellow. So we put another filter over that, came up with just the greenstones in the eastern part of the Murchison region, and applied our geographical limit of where we thought we could cover within a few days. That's a big area. That's a big area, but that's how much budget we had. So, things that grow in the greenstones, you've got out in the northeast Goldfields, other than your mulberries, you've got Acacia quadrimarginea and related entities. How many people are aware of Acacia quadrimarginea and know what it looks like? Okay, a few, good. And then you've got Acacia xanthocarpa, which has got a hairy pod. So quadrimarginea has a large pod with 4 wings, and xanthocarpa has a hairy pod, and they look very different, and you can imagine they're at each end of the spectrum. What we found is that there's all sorts of stuff in between. So, key characters of quadrimarginea, single stem trees, they're large trees, shady, beautiful things, glossy dark green foliage, phyllodes are generally flat, and the pods don't appear to be hairy, but they can be sticky. And if you're anything with sticky pods, you've got to look a bit closer, because the stickiness comes from gums that are exuded from hairs, small hairs. That's Acacia quadrimarginea, a common scene in the northeast Goldfields on granitoid landforms. If you go to the western part of the Murchison, you get Acacia umbraculiformis, and this occurs, for example, at Mount Gibson, Mount Magnet, those areas like that. Similar looking tree, but the pod is different. So I just go back. You see the wings on that pod? I don't know if you guys can see it from the back. That's important. Umbraculiformis lacks the wings. Acacia collegialis from around Norseman to just north of Kalgoorlie, a related species. Okay, this is one of our weird ones. You can't see it on that image, but that pod has very small red patent hairs. So they're tiny hairs, they're pressed against the surface of the pod, and they exude a red gum, which is one of the key characters for this group of species. Comparison, I'm just googling through this, I won't test you on it later. That's Acacia quadrimarginea, and that's what we're calling Acacia species East Murchison basalt. Until I realised there was more than one thing on the East Murchison basalt. So this thing is Acacia species Marshall Pool. This is formerly on Flora base, you'll find it on there. It's one that Sophie and Meeksy found recently east of Leonora, and we found it in 1996 up at Weebo Station. Didn't know what it was. In fact, when I took Bruce material of this, back about late 96, early 97, I had 3 lots of specimens. We were late in collecting the material, and I picked up pods one under the plant and included them in the material. And he opened the first one and then shoved it aside, opened the second one and said, Jeff, you've got to improve your collection technique. He said, you've got the foliage of one species and the fruit of another. And I was very glad to prove him wrong. 20 years later. Okay, so part of that big red polygon in the northeast Goldfields, we went to the northeast corner of it, up to Barwitchy Station, and went to a site where about 15 years ago I'd seen a particular acacia. I thought, it's got to be in the same group. It's just another population of the same thing, and I think it's something completely different, because the pods here, instead of being covered in red patent hairs, they're covered in minute little white hairs with no resin at all. So the plot thickens. And then you've got Acacia species Mount Jackson, which is quite well known. It's on banded ironstones around north of Southern Cross, and it's one of the few species in this group which doesn't grow on greenstone geology, but it's always on rocky uplands. You'll never find these things low in the landscape or in areas where there's water ponding or that kind of thing. And that's Doug at the Helena and Aurora Range, and these things here are the Acacia species Mount Jackson, just to give you some context. Okay, so the other end of the spectrum, Acacia xanthocarpa complex, has got the hairy pods. They look like big yellow hairy caterpillars hanging away at the bushes, and when they're in fruit, it's spectacular. Really good example. That's a really weird fruit, right? I mean, you don't get many cases like that. And what we were finding is that there were variations in hairiness of pods and leaf shape, and whether or not the leaves had a red margin on them or not. And it was driving us absolutely insane until we found the pods. So we've got something around Leinster, which we call the Xanthocarpa flat-fired form. That's the true Xanthocarpa, with a leaf that is either terete, which you can roll in fingers, or slightly square in cross-section. Right? And then we've got acacia species world range, which I've never seen. These are just photos of Hungarian specimens. Now, what's really interesting is when you look at the distribution of these species. So I'm just going to flick through these maps and then give you one overall map of the whole lot. Acacia quadrimarginata, well-known widespread species. The things in the west here have been cut off some time ago by Bruce as Acacia umbraculate-formis. Right? And so some of these dots in this part of the world are probably just IDs that have been sorted. So quadrimarginata, umbraculate-formis, collegialis from down near Northern Way in Cambalda, Acacia lapidosa, priority 1 species from around Mount Magnet, and the Windamurra vanadium site, the former Windamurra vanadium site. This thing that we call Acacia East Murchison basalt, which we thought was just around this area here between Leinster and Mount Keith, but actually turned out to be all around Leonora and out to Laverton. There's even a record out here in the Great Vic, and that's just east of Cosmo Newbury on another one of these greenstone hills. The last greenstone hill as you're heading out towards Warburton. And then what was really interesting is I was looking through Acacia lapidosa specimens with Bruce the other day, and came up with two occurrences at Mount Magnet. So they've been chucked into that Af lapidosa pile, and I thought we were able to recognise them straight away. Acacia species marginal pool, the stuff that Sophie found near between Laverton and Leonora, and our original collection up at Weaver Station. And Acacia Barwidgey Station, which Barley's, I don't know if it's different or not, needs more work. I have sort of stuck my neck out, but I'm wrong more often than right, may I say. Acacia Mount Jackson on the banded ironstones. That's a very restricted species. If you look at the distribution, and given the focus on mining the banded ironstones in that part of the world, is it a priority species these days? Can anybody remember? Anyway, it should be. Acacia xanthocarpa, one with a hairy pod, really widespread. Acacia species world range, the species I'm not aware of. Interesting how it's got an outline out here. I suspect it's probably in this area, and that's a mis-ID, because when you look at the Flora-based maps, both Acacia world range, Acacia xanthocarpa, and another hairy podded one are all out in the same spot. So I think it's just been mis-IDs on one population perhaps. And you put them all together and you get that. Now, I did not expect to find that late in 2017. It absolutely blew me away that there would be this geographical separation of the species that was, in most cases, reasonably clear. And I just found it astounding, so I thought you guys should know about it. So,
you mean the fact that they're actually quite discreet? You mean the fact that they're quite discreet, is that what's amazing?
The distribution of them is they're actually quite discreet, yes. And very rarely do you find two species growing together. It does happen, but it's only one individual of one and one individual of another. So that was cool. The key from all this, the key findings were that fruit pods are essential. Even after 19 years of tripping around here, we couldn't tell them apart until we found the fruits. Variation in cross-sectional shape of pods is a very important factor. Variation in surface characteristics of the pods, the long golden hairs versus short white hairs versus no hairs, or red sticky patent hairs that lay flat on the leaf surface. All critical in ID. And variation in phyloid shape, you can have everything from terete to flat in both groups, and every combination thereof So it's a very complicated group, and distributions are a good indicator of which species you might end up with in these groups. So that's a road cutting just south of Mount Keith, and it's through a Queenstone hill. And what really surprised me, I dragged Doug out there about a month before the GMG conference. I said, I need to know why these things grow here. And so we went up and had a look and found these greenstones. Yep, I was right about that. And Doug gave me some background as to how the stuff was formed and what crystal structure meant and all the rest of it. But what I didn't realise was these basalts, or these greenstones, are all intruded. Intruded is not the right word. They've had groundwater come up through them and leave behind calcrete. So this is a paleo groundwater calcrete remnant, I guess you could say. So where there's very little cover over the rocks, you get Acacia xanthocarpa in this case. And where you've got substantial cover over the rocks, even if it's only half a metre, like in this case, you get mulga. So that's very, very important from an ecological point of view, why things grow where they grow, not just what are they, but why. And you look at that, and you can see here, there's the lighter coloured patches. That's just huge amounts of calcrete, which means that these are very alkaline, whereas the other soils around are slightly acid. So pH 4.5 to 5.5 up here, pH 8.5 down here. So the greenstone hills represent a unique subgroup of the landscapes in the northeast goldfields. Rocky and metamorphosed, highly fractured, previously developed well below the land surface, but now exposed, and they're historically connected to significant paleo groundwater, and the calcrete's been left behind, blah, 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 blah. I've been through it. Okay, so thanks to all those guys for that component. So the new bit I tacked on the end of this for purposes of this talk was, okay, nature discovery. I really would like to be talking about vegetation mapping, but this is the topic I was given. So this is just the data that's available from Flora, showing that from 2004 to 2017, there's been a 9% increase in new species described. And that graph is still growing. And if we listen to all the other people around here that have been speaking so far, there's an acknowledgement that there are an unknown number of undescribed species out there. And I think that is probably a significant underrepresentation of what's out there. It has implications for conservation because the numbers of priority species and declared rare flora have increased substantially. So we, up until about 1999, the industry was, botanical industry was fairly quiet and it was ticking along at a low level, and then 2000 things just took off, right? So we started finding things in 2000 that took until 2007 or 2008 to get formally described, to get people's attention, the taxonomy done, and say, hey, crikey, these are new things. And you can see the massive jump in priority species, which reflects that earlier stuff. So again, upward trend. We haven't plateaued, and we're not likely to, not for a long time. A couple of case studies here: rediscovery of a presumed extinct species. We, thanks to Sarah and her group, we were engaged to go do some work down near Coolgardie, near Southern Cross. Went out to survey a site, and guys came back with a little sprig, and it was clearly an apiaceae. Put it through the old black oil agree, parts 1, 2 and 3, the book I had from uni from whenever it was, 1979, and it keyed straight to Hydrocotyle coryniflora. Keyed straight to it. And we thought, great, a common species. Hang on a minute, there was one dot on the Flora-based map, and when we checked it out, there was only ever one collection collected by an anonymous collector. When was it now? 1890 something, or 1888 for goodness sake. 1888, one collection, location was east of the Swan River Colony. So we got very excited, as did the herbarium, and that went and did an assessment of how many and where, and then subsequently other people have been out there and found a few more. But it led to a review of all species that had not been recorded for 50 years or more, and should have been listed as presumed extinct under the current guidelines. Alex, you might know more about this than I do.
Not just particular species.
Right. Anyway, so Neil Gibson did some work and published it in one of the Neutzias, Neutzia 2071, it's quite easy to find. And of that, 25 species were found to have been of concern. 25 species that should have been considered under the current guidelines, not having been cleared for 50 years or more, as possibly extinct. Okay, so a few more case studies just quickly. South Coast region, a major mining development on the South Coast. We were engaged in 2000 to go out there and do a Flora survey. It's the only time I've got out to a site, parked on the roadside and felt frightened. Not by people or any other safety situation, but because of the Flora. If you guys have been down there and had a look, it is just mind-blowing. There's a 50 millimetres out of the window. So we underscoped the project like enormously, and I got back to our client. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I've been down here for a day and I realised it's going to take a lot longer than I thought." So we spent the entire project budget on just getting to know the plants. After a year, we've learned a lot. We've had a lot of help from Dr. Jill Craig down there at Ravensthorpe, without whom I would have been completely lost. But it led to the discovery of 19 new species in 2 years down there, and I thought, that's probably a fair bit. But we missed a couple in that process. We missed two. We missed an Acrotrichia and a Herbertia. But it led to extensive regional surveys by ourselves and DDC, which was funded by a proponent, and then it actually led to 4 conservation zones being put aside within the mining envelope. So you can imagine how popular that was. But 4 conservation zones to conserve these newly described and now rare species, included eucalypt, acunsia, and a bunch of other stuff. Another project, a very controversial approval, rejected by the EPA, overturned by the Minister. Initial surveys identified DRF and priority flora all over the hills. And then subsequently we were asked to come in and just do a quick, we were there for 2 weeks to do a review of what had been done before, and we found a new acacia dominant on the mid-slopes of all these ranges. And so that certainly came amongst the pigeons there, amongst a few other things. Another project, a prospector was prospecting on someone else's tenement, which he doesn't like to be made. Oh my goodness, I'm being taped. Okay, I'm not going to... he was out there and he picked up a tetraseeker because he knew what a tetraseeker was. I spoke to him for a while and he'd helped us out on other projects. He said, "Jeff, what do you reckon this is?" I found a tetraseeker. I looked at it and I thought, okay, not that one, not that one, not that one. Charlie, I think that's new. And slowed me down, took it into Ryan Butcher at the herbarium, who apparently, I wasn't there, but she jumped up and down and did a wheel dance in the middle of the herbarium, squealing apparently. We found another tetraseeker. And so we went out there to survey it a couple of years ago. It's then been described and listed as DRF and named as Tetraseeker spencerii after Charlie, who found the specimen. And look, I can give you other boring examples in the Pilbara, in the Great Victoria Desert, the Sandy Desert, Yalgoo, the Admiral Wheatfield, Swan Coastal Plain. Haven't really kept account. Then you start talking about the lepidospermers. Now you guys know back in 2000 we had 32 lepidospermers in WA. Now we've got 350 or thereabouts. Say again? Maybe, yeah, maybe more. So there are new species to be discovered all over the place. Malcolm talked about disjunctions, and we looked at a few maps. I just copied of these. I just copied stuff and kept them in a folder, just as little hints of things that might just prove to be something weird. Acacia subtesserogona. I know that there's a difference because all the major collections of subtesserogona come from just east of Carnarvon. And you get 1, 2, 3, 4 dots on the map out here. And I know the difference because I've seen them, and I've seen the 2 species. So there is a difference there. maps of disjunctions don't actually indicate they are new species, but they're hint. Other they screw on other trees, you know. But benthamite grows on carriageons, brachychiums. And there's something weird going on here. 1, 2, 3, 4 centres of occurrence. Herbertia arcuata, it's a shame that Kevin's not here. He and I have been talking about Herbertias for some time. Herbertia arcuata generally is described from the northeastern outer wheat belt, but there are occurrences out near Willuna to Laverton. And you look at the material, there's something different about them, but you need to spend a bit of time figuring it out. This Koya loxacarpa grows on red sand dunes in the Great Victoria Desert, and yet it's coastal. Come on, there's got to be something in it. I'd love to find out what it is. Anyway, it goes on and on. So, as Mitchell started to say, expect the unexpected would be my takeaway line. Linda, because I know you're going to ask. Continuous learning, follow your intuition. Don't just follow a published Flora, because if it looks out of place, it probably is different. Don't be afraid to be wrong. It's better to query a species and miss the opportunity to conserve something that's potentially quite rare. Rely on the taxonomists, because they're very good at what they do. And be excited, because your clients will eventually get the excitement. Eventually. Thank you.